What is up, everyone? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Scout Reports. Today I bring you an anime review of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, episode 5. And today we get a very Mumei heavy episode. And again, we get another fantastic episode as we're speeding towards the halfway point of this season. I have to say, they must have a second season planned for this series, or I hope the rest of the series is going to be paced pretty well. But because for us to be this deep into the season right now, we still don't know anything about any other characters on this train besides Ikoma and now Mumei. Even Ayane, besides her being a princess, we don't know too much about her. But without further ado, I'll get into that as we go through the video. Let's get down to the breakdown. So, the episode starts off with Ikoma showing these guards how to better themselves or how to make better weapons against the Kabaneri, as he shows them how to make jet bullets that they can now put into their rifles that has the same power as the gun he carries. He also laces one of the swords with the heart of a Kabaneri to make it hard as steel and able to slice through them as well. So I can bet that Kurusu is going to get this sword, and I think we see him with that sword in the opening if I remember correctly. So that's going to give him more power to go in once he gets going. We don't see him this episode because he's still injured after fighting that samurai goon from last week. So overall, again, the episode starts off with them heading to a destination. However, they are stopped along their path that they see that a big beam, or almost like a watchtower, is in their way at one of the places they're stopped to get resources, and they can't get past it because it completely covers the track. So they're going to have to find a way to get around this. As they get out, they also see that people have survived, so they go to retrieve some of the survivors and help them out as much as they can. And one of the survivors said that they were attacked by a black smoke that came over and engulfed all of them, or at least the people that are dead, and our survivors were lucky enough to get away. While this is going on, however, we see that one of the survivors notices Mumei, and she notices him as he walks up to her and tells her to come with him. We get to the back of the area where she takes them, where they're isolated, and this man says that he is from the Shogunate, and he's basically there to try to get Mumei to come back with him in order to get back into the good graces of the Shogun. This is where we start to learn about Mumei and her backstory, as it seems that she used to be some type of, or she is some type of elite bodyguard for the Shogun, and she was sent out for some type of mission. So this man basically is on the typical come back with me so I can get my way back. Like if you guys are familiar with Game of Thrones, remember like Jorah was trying to get Daenerys to come back with him once she cast him out in order to get back in the good graces. You know, it's that type of thing. He wants to bring Mumei back so he can get back into the good graces of the Shogun. He attacks Mumei, telling her that she's getting soft. However, she's still too quick for him as she blocks his knife with a kunai. But this guy's packing heat, so he still ends up getting the one up on her and putting a gun to her back saying, "You're getting soft. You are failing your mission right now, and if you don't get your head on straight, you're going to be cast aside. You are supposed to be the claw of the young master," which is her brother. "And if you continue to get weak and act this way, you're going to be abandoned and left aside just like I am. So help a brother out, come back with me, and we both can do all good." However, she's not cool with this at all. Mumei basically tells this dude, "I'm not going back. I have to finish my mission. Get out of my sight or I'll kill you." And she goes back to Ikoma and the rest of the crew, who are formulating a plan that they're going to funnel all of the Kabaneri or the Kabaneri in the area to one isolated spot and try to take them out in one path and make their way through that way, going around the big nest of Kabaneri that are in the middle of this train area. However, from this point on, Mumei is very distant with everybody around him now, and everybody can notice that she's changed. She's berating everybody, she's calling them stupid, she's telling them to get away. She even refuses to help the gang with their plan right now, saying, "If you guys are scared and want to do that, go ahead. I'm going up the middle and taking out the threat directly." Of course, Ikoma isn't cool with this and wonders why she had this sudden change all of a sudden. And he's not going to let her die at this point because he's become close to her. He's highly against it and try to urge her out of doing this, but she goes off on her own. So clearly whatever happened between Mumei and her family has some type of effect on her. And some of the things I think that happened, I think the way that they're treating Mumei and how she reacts through this episode, she is strictly built to be a weapon. Now, how that happened, I kind of think there's got to be some shadiness going on somewhere. I think she either got bit, and when she became a Kabaneri, they decided to just make her a weapon instead of killing her, or maybe she was intentionally made a Kabaneri just so she can be this elite bodyguard. I hope we get more into this later as we start to see her rashing out against everybody around her on this train out of her fear of being alone and being cast out by her brother and her father at this point if she happens to fail or be less than what they expect her to be as a warrior. It's one part of this episode in particular where we see some kids and they're sad because their dog have died, and Mumei is still in this state where she is heartless and careless, even more than we've seen her be, because we know she has some type of emotion, and she spent a little bit of regret when she killed a pregnant lady, even though she accepted there was nothing she can do. So with this dog is dead, she's basically like, well, at least it died before you guys can cast it out. Once again, putting more weight on what was said to her, and people are already kind of weary and don't like her to begin with. When she says this to the kids, you know, people tell her, you're just a Kabaneri, get out of here, we hate you, we hate your kind. And she goes away and she's sitting by herself and she's actually crying. So you can tell that Mumei really doesn't want to be this way as a character. She doesn't want to be this close and this guarded, but she has to be, or she probably won't have a home to go back to. She was also told by this man to finish her mission while she's still human. So you can kind of understand why Mumei is the way she is right now, because I'm pretty sure if she loses control and goes back, she is gonna not be accepted by her family. This also goes to my theory about the Wazatori, you know, like the samurai person that we saw last time. They said they can adapt. My theory about those overall, I think these are people who are like Ikoma or Mumei, who probably started off as Kabaneri and then they became what they are later, because that thing just seemed too advanced to be just a regular goon. Granted that these Kabane are very smart and intelligent, those things were a little bit too intelligent. And you know, when you're dealing with monster things, there's always going to be A classes, S classes, and etc. But I wonder how they got that way, or do they just pop up out of nowhere? Also, again, we get a lot of characterization from Mumei as we get to learn a little bit more about her in this episode and her overall feelings about things overall. I think being around Ikoma and the rest are gonna soften her up a little bit, and she's gonna open up more once she accepts these people as a family. But back to the episode in general, Ikoma and the rest, they finally get to where they need to go, and they're starting to make their way to the middle to funnel the Kabaneri into it. However, they see Mumei still going against what they wanted to do, as she's heading right into the thick of it, going right into the heart of the Kabaneri. Now, it was here outside that we see the people with Ikoma. They see just a whole bunch of black mist as they look into it, and we find out that this black shadow is, at least what they think, is really just packs and packs of Kabane. Meanwhile, we see Mumei saying, these people are stupid. I'm just going to go to the heart of the matter and take them all out. She sets her watch and gives herself 90 seconds, and she goes in, going into Beast Queen mode, complete with awesome music, and she just taking out these Kabaneri, or Kabane, I keep mixing it up, I'm sorry. As she starts taking these things out with no problem at all. She actually finishes in 56 seconds, but she's upset with herself because she actually got injured. But that's not all, as another wave comes towards her. We cut back and we see Ikoma and everybody catch up to her as she successfully made her way through and cleared out the entire area by herself. So that allows them to actually lift the crane and start the train up. However, outside there are even more Kabaneri. Kabane! I'm so sorry about this. The name is so close that it's easy to get confused. But there are more goons. I'll just say that to make it a little bit easier. There are more goons coming their way as Mumei goes to the bottom to try to take them out by herself. Ikoma doesn't want her to do this, and he actually goes after to help her, but this causes him to let go of the controls and the crane goes down as the rest of the people ran back to the train, but now they're stuck once again as the crane went down. Mumei is weak at this point as well, because even though she's still going in, she's getting weak, and we actually see a new type of Wazatori this week. This one has hand to hand, and he's actually like in a Muay Thai stance, and he's taking he's taking Mumei out at this point. He actually wrecks her and throws her over a ledge, and Ikoma goes down to help at this point, but the rest of the crew is in danger as the crane has already fell. So he picks up Mumei and tries to run back to the train. It is here that they see a big black shadow, just like we were saying, form out of nowhere as the tracks and everything around them is starting to collapse. And now we have almost a building size goon facing them down right now that takes us to the end of the episode, and of course leaving us on a cliffhanger. So that was this episode in a nutshell. Again, it was very good, and it's very good to see Mumei as well, as we get some characterization from her. I would like to know more about the rest of the people on the train, but I think we got enough with Mumei until we get to our destination to see what makes her tick and see why she is the way she is. And I'm pretty sure she's going to get broke down later. As you know, most of the time, probably 50% of the time, whenever you have a super badass character, they usually have a tragic past like we see with this, or they might just be badass. In this case with Mumei, she clearly has a tragic backstory, and what's going on with her and her fear of abandonment is causing her to be the way she is. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Let me know if you guys liked the episode. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I would like to hear what your thoughts are about the Kabaneri as well. Do you think these Wazatori that we're seeing, as I said, I think they're like advanced Kabaneri who probably lost control? Also, what do you think is going on with Mumei? I think that she was probably intentionally made this way to be a weapon. And it kind of said if it didn't work, well, we'll just take her out or something like that. That's why she is sent out on her own to do this mission, and no one cares if she comes back, because if she doesn't, then it's just deemed as a failure. So I'm going to go ahead and end the review here. Thank you guys for joining me. As I always say, you guys could be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for stopping by. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as I bring you guys content almost every day at this point. And be sure to join me tomorrow as I review JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable. So on that note, it's your boy Infrar-Ed with the Scott Report signing out. See you soon.